Good morning, good morning, good morning, YouTube. How are you doing? I am here with Sean and Marianne of PanicD, and I am super excited to be here today. Can you guys hear me? We have Sean. He's going to keep an eye on the chat today because the camera is a bit far away. But we got Inspired John in the house. You're out buying lobster. Jelly Duck from Kuwait in the house. Awesome. Awesome. Man, happy trails. We've got 1K in the house. Out of body, good morning, good morning. Thank you so much. I did manage to somehow reach 600 subscribers. Yeah. I found 600 people. Woo! Oh, Daniel's in the house this morning. How are you today? In the woods with Wolfie. It's a good thing I can actually recognize some icons here. Virginia Fisherman, good morning. So I am in Gettysburg. Let's see if we can get this just a touch. There we go.
I think that's better.
That's better.
Nice.
Hey, so we are in Gettysburg this morning with Sean and Marianne from PanicD, and I'm really excited about this. We're going to get a chance to talk about what they do on their channel and all that good stuff. Abraxas is in the house this morning.
Good morning, Abraxas.
Oh, Burnwood Bushcraft. Hey, Burnwood, congratulations, my friend. His wife had a baby yesterday.
Congratulations.
Awesome. Happy days.
A baby girl. So beautiful. I saw the pictures, just amazing. And Seth is in the house for just a minute. Need one more until your goal. Yeah, we're watching, Seth.
Tick, 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 tick.
It's always a bummer when Seth leaves the room because we get a lot less snarky comments. It needs more subs. Good morning, Adam Outdoors. Hello. So we are, like I said, we're in Gettysburg. I am with PanicD, and this is really exciting. So I'm gonna just kind of interview them as if this were a up-and-coming tubers because it's the easiest type of format for this. You guys have to understand that my planning is so bad that I literally got here about 15 minutes ago, so I just met them just like you are.
That's okay.
It's all good. It's the life of the YouTuber.
For some reason, I really thought that getting up at 7:30 and leaving at 8 was a smart idea. And then I looked at my nav and it said it takes me 2 hours to get here, and I realized that probably wasn't smart. I don't know why. It seemed like a great idea last night.
But you got a fast car, so
Yeah.
that cuts it by a half
quick.
hour. Right?
I got really lucky. It's also a car that the cops will immediately pull over if they see you acting like a
Well,
moron.
at least it's not red. You know, they would see that one for sure.
Absolutely. And we do have some special guests here as well. You guys can see we've got Piney here. And this one is
Little Boris.
Little Boris is here as well. So we have some mascots in the house today. You guys haven't actually seen Piney in quite some time. You probably thought, I know you guys were calling 911 the other day, and that's what the police helicopters were all about, probably. So how long have you guys been doing YouTube?
Since November of 2017.
Yeah, it was like 2010,
Yeah.
but we didn't really do any posting
We
much
had
of anything
3
until
videos out there since
November.
2010. But November 2017 we started. Well, actually we started doing our haunted travels on PanicDVideos in November.
So it was like a separate channel that just
Well,
morphed into what you're doing now?
We actually have a website, it's PanicD.com, which is a database of over 800 locations across the United States and U.S. territories that have paranormal claims. So we always used YouTube as kind of like our video archive for the locations because we link all this media to the location. So like Jenny Wade House, you could go pull that up on our database and have videos and links of our research and stuff like that. Well, we decided, we've been to so many places, we've been to over 200 of them. That's in the database, that we wanted to start taking all the documentation and books and research and everything we have and create something that is basically her and I, our travels, and we just put our haunted travels because we travel to these locations that's historical and has paranormal claims.
So it actually started out as a database and morphed
back in
into
2010.
entertainment. That's really awesome.
Yeah.
And the database still exists. Like people can go
Absolutely.
there and check it out.
Absolutely.
So-
PanicD.com.
PanicD.com, guys, go check out the paranormal database, and maybe there'll be some stuff in your area that you can go film and take a look at.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we have at least one location in every state.
Oh, wow. So
Yeah.
we've got Pam's Great Outdoors, Skinny G Panda. I saw a whole bunch of folks come in there a moment ago. Who's your back in the house? PSRP. Paranormal Pursuit.
Paranormal.
Yeah, they're awesome. BK42 is in the house. I saw Pam's Outdoor Adventures. We've got so many folks. Oh, Skinny Panda's in the house. Oh man, this is fantastic. Virginia Fisherman.
Here,
Awesome,
you
awesome.
Want this? Then you can watch it closer.
Oh,
I
that
don't know.
would be great. So what made you decide to start morphing into more of an entertainment channel on YouTube that feeds off the database?
Honestly, I'm getting old. I'm starting to forget some of these places that we've been to and some of the awesome things that we've seen and experienced, and you know, some of the history, and you know, because it started out like it was probably about maybe October.
Somebody needs to turn
I brought
that
up
off.
a web page and I'm talking to Marianne. I'm like, you know, this is kind of cool. Check this out. We ought to go there. And she goes, you know, we were there. We did that.
Oh, really?
We
And I
already knew
went,
that.
Oh man. So and I go and I pull stuff up and she's right. And we literally have volumes and volumes and volumes of documentation and books and stuff that we did like just basically as a hobby. You know, we would find out a story and we would go and research it and go to the lab. We're geeks. I'm sorry. We're geeks.
Well, you actually have
so-
books published, right?
Yes. Well, for our Haunted Travels, we have the first volume done, published, and out there. Yes. And
And
that's
then we
when it
have-
started, St. Augustine.
Right, and we have a coloring book
Oh,
too,
wow.
so you can color all the haunted places.
That's cool.
And then we have another book that's just for kiddies. It's I guess
Department
big kitties too,
of
but
Elfland Security, Elf Workers Handbook.
that's correct. We
That
have that
sounds-
as well.
That sounds pretty cool.
Yes.
We've got Mr. Dutchy Dutch in the house. I have not seen you, Mr. Dutchy Dutch, in the house before. So please, everybody, say hi to Mr. Dutchy Dutch.
Hi,
And,
Mr. Dutchy Dutch.
Hi.
Do me a big favor, hit that thumbs up, guys. This is just awesome. This is so cool. So you published a couple of books. Were they before the channel, or?
No, we published them with the launch of the series, Our Haunted Travels. The Christmas book we published a while ago.
Yes.
We have several websites, but another one we have is called Dark Shadow Ghost Tours, where we actually took what we do and take groups of people to locations, and we put on murder mystery dinners and things like that. That's why we have all kinds of props and stuff.
Oh my
like that.
goodness, that's
So,
awesome.
That was when we published the Christmas book. We actually did a murder mystery on that.
Based on the book as well.
Santa
yes.
didn't die, though, folks.
No,
We're sick, but
no.
we're not that sick. We don't kill anybody around Christmas time.
No, there was just some mischievous elf that was coming by and, you know,
Had to
messing with
solve the
stuff.
problem at the workshop. But
Messing with the ribbon maker.
That guy who sells that elf on the shelf probably stole the idea.
yeah,
Mountain
I
Survival's
doubt
in the
that.
house. You doubt that?
I doubt that. I think
It's
Elf on
just
the
a-
Shelf was like, when I was little, I
Oh,
had
really?
these little guys. They weren't called Elf on the Shelf, but the little guy was based on the little guy that I had hanging on my Christmas tree when I was
those
a little
little
kid.
elves on the shelf are
But
creepy.
somebody, I think they wrote a book about
about
it for
scary
their
children.
Okay, I didn't know that. I'd only seen it recently because a friend of mine where I worked had gotten one for his daughter or son, and I didn't know what it was. So he was explaining, oh no, I put them in different locations with different mischief every night, and my daughter just goes nuts. And it's like, okay, that sounds like a lot of fun. That stuff wasn't really around when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Elf on the Shelf is creepy as heck.
It
Ginger
is
back
creepy
says.
little dolls that move around in the middle of the night.
Yeah, and you
What
can,
else is
you
creepier
can
than that?
definitely move those around. Our nephew has one of those. I forget what he calls them, but they definitely get into mischief.
Yeah, because I guess he would put the elf in a different location every day, and the kid would go search for it, and it would be part of the Christmas game, which I think is really cool. I mean, it's always good to have your own personal Christmas traditions, I think.
Yeah.
But I'm a big Christmas nut. I can't help it. I'm a big Disney and Christmas nut.
There you go. There you go.
We especially like to go to Disney at Christmas, actually.
Ooh,
Never been there.
We've never been there at
We
Christmas.
want to do that. I bet you it's
Someday.
gorgeous.
It's really neat. Unfortunately, there was the section that had the big town where it was kind of set up like a movie set.
Mm-hmm.
They used to fill that place with thousands and thousands of lights and do this huge light show. And of course now that's gone because the Star Wars thing is coming and all that. So we got to see the last year of that, but that was really cool because you would walk through it and they'd play music and the lights would flash to the music, and they had all this bubble stuff coming out that would look like snow. It was
Crazy.
crazy.
Came out recently they're closing down the Haunted
Yeah,
Mansion.
I don't know
What?
if it's really true or not, but we saw that
Yeah.
posted a couple of places, so
They're
we
gonna
have to
change
do a
it to
little
something
research, but
else.
we couldn't because we're now on vacation. We've got
Wow.
other things to do right now, other places to see, but that'd be
That's-
really sad if
That
they do
can't
that.
be. That can't be. That's
I
like one of
hope
my
it's-
favorite rides.
I hope it's fake news.
Yeah. So if you guys know whether they're closing down the Haunted Mansion at Disney, let me know, because they're going to get about 50 videos talking about that. I can tell you that right now. I saw Be Positive was in the house. Chris from Life Befell the Powell's in the house. Good morning, good morning. Reagan, Live, Laugh, Love is in the house. Hey, hit that thumbs up, guys. If you do not know everyone in the room, please take a moment to get to know them. It is just fantastic to see you guys all here today. I am here with Panic D. We are in Gettysburg. We're going to do some awesome film and have a lot of fun today. We're going to go live on their channel at some point today. I don't know what their schedule is, but I'm sure they'll let you know.
Yeah, our channel is PanicDVideos. PanicDVideos.
Absolutely. I'll put the link in the description as soon as we get off the air here. And I don't. What time do you guys think you're going to go live this afternoon or whenever?
Maybe let's say we'll done it. I don't know, 12 maybe, 11:30, 12.
Okay. Sometime around noonish Eastern Standard Time, the only legitimate time zone, we will be live again on Panic D's channel, and who knows where we'll be at that point.
Never know.
We don't know.
I have some ideas.
Oh, you do?
But, we'll see how everybody's doing after.
Yeah.
Sounds good to me. So, how many So you started in November of last year.
Yeah.
How many videos do you guys have out? Do you have,
Lots.
what's your schedule?
All right. So what we try to do is focus a new location each week. Okay. Because like I said, we've been to 200, well over 200 now, of different locations. So on Tuesday we come out with a series called Ghost Stories and Folklore, and that's
Boris narrates that one.
narrates that, and it talks about the ghost stories and folklore. It covers the paranormal claims, and then either Wednesday or Thursday of the same week we cover something that's related to the location, depending on the what it is, what we're talking about. And then Friday we always wrap up the location with we call it a location video, where we're kind of like sit there and we talk about the history. We have a little segment video about the history. We refer to the ghost stories and folklore, talk about our experiences we had when we were there and why we believe that the place is haunted. And that, the way that's laid out is actually how the database is laid out and how our books are laid out. Is that same format.
That's awesome. That's really
Each
cool.
location, so.
And you're kind of just going around now and getting pictures of stuff that you want to do stories about that you've already visited, but maybe don't have a lot of B-roll for. I
Right.
guess.
This
Right,
is
we
our-
have the stills, not
This
the
is
B-roll.
our third time to Gettysburg, so our trip
Together.
now is to kind of go around and get B-roll.
That's awesome.
Because most of the places we've been in the past, I never thought about doing a YouTube channel, for it. So she's a forensic photographer. We might go to a location and have, 500, 600, 700 pictures
Of just the one
of
location.
just that one location.
Wow.
So, our videos up till now has been, piecing the photos together, and we want to start adding some B-roll and video footage.
That's awesome. I see Bam's Beauty is in the house. I think Super Game Boy X I saw in here.
Yes.
Super Game Boy X, good morning. Pam's Great Outdoor Adventures, if I did not say hi to you, hello, hello, hello. It's my favorite Pam we ever get in any of these rooms, is in this room right now. Mountain Survival's in the house. Chris Coney, hello, hello, hello. How are you today? Oh man, fantastic. So, what's your favorite location in Gettysburg?
Oh, jeez.
That's a
That's a
really,
that's a
really
tough
tough
question.
question.
Well, I could tell you where mine is, and I'm probably off a little bit here on actually what the name of the location is. But there's that place that has that stone, I guess it's a monument, but it's like a structure where you can go up in the top and you can see down onto the Devil's Den, the rocky area and stuff.
Up on
And
Little
that
Round
little,
Top.
round
yeah,
top.
little round top. That is absolutely, I could hang out up there,
Yeah, it's
and it's
beautiful.
really
it is.
neat.
It's really pretty up
Of course,
You
it's
can
also
see-
really popular.
Yeah,
It
you can see
is.
all the battlefield up there.
Yeah,
And,
it is pretty awesome. I like crawling around in Devil's Den. I really do. But I also like going to like the orphanage.
Yeah.
I do like the
Orphanage
orphanage,
is
which
cool.
is actually right diagonal from us here.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
That building right
So
over
the
there.
It's the
building
one with the
white-
green?
next to the with the white on and the black top roof. That's actually the old orphanage.
Ah, so this building right here with the white shutters is the old orphanage.
Yes.
And let's turn
that
this.
was actually created as a result of what happened here in Gettysburg, and it became a national soldiers orphanage. So it was for orphans of battlefield victims during the Civil War. There was a gentleman who was in the battle here in Gettysburg.
See if she remembers his name.
Humested. And he
8 years younger, man.
Amazing.
Her brain's working like
Amazing, yeah.
But he when he died, he was found clutching a picture of his children. So he was there and he was holding this picture when he died, and he was looking at his 3 children. And they couldn't find anything that identified who he was or anything like that. But he was looking at this picture, so they're like, well, that picture had to be important. Those must be his children. So they took that photo, and somebody with their own money, and that name I have forgotten, it has escaped me. Yes, he was a doctor. He went ahead and he published that picture in newspapers all over the country, everywhere he could get it.
To find the kids.
To try to find, does anybody know these children? And there was a neighbor that actually was a neighbor of the Humesteds, went and said, Mrs. Humested, these are your kids. And I think this was your husband. And so then she ended up becoming the very first matron of this homestead.
That was the national orphanage.
They had cartavistas made of the children, so that's like the old pictures, the reproduction pictures. So they had those done and they sold those, and that's how they funded it at the beginning.
Holy moly, that's really
So
interesting.
historically, who was it Grant? No, who was the president that came in?
I think Grant came there.
Yeah, I think Grant came.
I know he has a house here locally.
Yeah. He came and visited the orphans, and so those kind of stories like that, that's what we're documenting.
That's awesome.
On our channel.
That's incredible.
Yeah. Now, Mrs. Humested was a really great woman, and she did a really fine job, raised the children well, taught them, fed them. They did all kinds of wonderful things. And then she was such a great lady that she did find another husband. And once she found another husband, she left, and another matron came in to take over.
And
she was not nice.
That's where it gets dark.
Yeah, her name was Rosa Carmichael, and she actually was pretty nasty, and she would chain the children up in the basement and put them in little cubby holes in the basement, lock them on Christmas Eve in an outhouse outside.
She was actually ran out of Gettysburg.
Yes.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So then after that,
why does every
the
orphanage have to have a
closed.
story like that, right?
Yeah. Why can't they all be like the Humesteds, So.
We've got the Insane Bolt. We have Geo in Japan. Highwayman in the house. Holy mackerel. I saw somebody said that Inspired John had a question. You want to toss that question in the chat, Inspired John? We'll try to get to it.
Try to see that.
Oh yeah. Do you guys have a lot of people that contact you and say, hey, we've got this awesome location here that you really need to check out, that, know?
And we get a lot of, we call it private or residential investigations. A lot of people that'll contact us and asking advice and things like that for the paranormal stuff. And we used to do that. We were a part of a group. We would go in and do residential investigations and help people out, things like that. And it got to be, because we work full time too, so it got to be a little bit too much. So now we refer them to something like, PSPRs in the house here, and other paranormal investigators that we know are reputable and stuff like that. Like we'll refer them out.
It's a big network on YouTube. There are so many people involved with the paranormal and ghosts and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah. So the question actually was, what brought us to this line of work? Was there something specific?
Yeah. Actually, it started in St. Augustine because we were both educators. Marianne's a biology and forensic science teacher for a high school, and I'm the technology director for the school district. So we work in education, and we're the farthest from whatever you think would ever get into paranormal. And the second time we went back to St. Augustine, I'll keep the story shortened, but we toured everything the first time we were there during our honeymoon. And when we went back, Marianne saw that they were doing
A
night tour at the lighthouse. And we thought, oh, okay, that might be kind of interesting. And so we went over and, you know, they started telling the ghost stories about the place. And this is completely different history than what we heard the first time. And it was interesting. So we did some more while we were in St. Augustine, more ghost tours and stuff like that. Really got hooked on it. And then we went out and did like an investigation, like a group investigation. And things started clicking like in our past lives. Like we realized that they could have been paranormal experiences. So I think that was the beginning of it. And from there, we just kept looking for more and more and more. And been doing it ever since.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Emai Boo is in the house. I've not seen you before. Joyce Stewart, good morning, good morning. How are you? Stokes Explorer in the house. Hey guys, 30 people in this room. Unbelievable, unbelievable.
Woo!
Please make sure you hit those thumbs up. I
Share
really
it out.
appreciate it.
Let's see
Absolutely.
if we could get them to 50.
Yeah,
Come
let's
on.
get 50
Share this
people
out
in
on
this
your social
awesome
media.
room. Unbelievable. So have you ever been to places that people would say, oh, this place is really haunted, and you got there and it's like, yeah, I don't, there's nothing here, you know?
Well, us in our situation, I'm sorry, dear, were you going to
No,
answer that?
I was just gonna say, it could be just an off night, you
Yeah.
know? Sometimes
The
it's just
spirits
not a
don't
good
wanna
day. They don't want to play
communicate
that day, and
They
that's
don't
okay.
communicate on command. You
Yeah.
know?
Well, there's also a very
So-
active imagination for people who are particularly close to a circumstance, which
Oh,
I
that
would
as
think
well.
creates
Yeah.
some situations.
Yeah, we've gone to some of the most haunted places in the United States. Lizzie Borden House, Queen Mary, Stanley Hotel, you know, certain places, Eastern State Penitentiary, those kind of places. And we know the paranormal reports and stuff like that when we go there. And we might pick up just a very little, if anything. And, you know, I was just talking to a gentleman yesterday over at one of these stores over here. And I don't know, I think maybe they kind of know we're looking for them. They're like, oh, here comes those people. We'll just come back later, you know, that kind of thing. Since we move so quickly, you know, we have the luxury of being here for a week, which is awesome. But, and so, you know, like in November, we're going to San Diego. We're only going to be out there for 3 days or 4 days, and she's got a
I've got to be
conference.
at conference
So
for all of it, except for, you know, like one day at
Yeah.
night. And
there's nobody we could call and say, hey, we're coming out, you know, can you stir up the spirits?
Well, yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, and I think that's kind of one of the things that frustrates me about TV shows that are about the paranormal.
Yeah, it
They're
doesn't
there for
happen in
24
22
hours,
minutes.
and a lot of times,
And they have 20 things that happen. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
yeah, and a lot of it just seems somewhat contrived,
Yeah,
unfortunately.
it's
I think
not
it
like that.
ruins the integrity of the field, because I think there are actually strange things that happen. Now, I don't know what they are. I certainly can't say, but they exist, and we don't know what they are, so that's why the investigate. I mean, I'm a big fan of all the goofy alien
Now, there's a
shows,
couple
too.
places that we've been to, like there's one in McConnell's, what is it, McConnellsville, Ohio. It's the, what's the name of it there? The theater.
The theater. The,
Anyways, we'll think of it here in a second.
Yeah,
But there's a
escapes me.
paranormal group that's running that theater, and they've done over 1,000 investigations. And what was cool about it is it's like the spirits become familiar with them and they'll communicate. But they piece together the history of that building just from doing that. And then
Wow.
they
and then
offered,
they went and did research and kind of
yeah,
tied the two
and
together.
backed
and
it
said,
all
"Oh,
up.
yeah,
It's a theater. What is it? Well, the
That's-
same thing with Hillview Manor. We've been there several times, and we always catch some stuff there at Hillview Manor.
Yeah.
It's like they become familiar with you and comfortable enough to,
Right.
if there's intelligent haunting. So there's different types of hauntings.
Right.
too.
Right.
That's really interesting.
Now they did ask if we have ever
Twin City Opera
Twin
House.
City Opera House.
Right.
That's right. But they asked if we have ever seen a full body apparition.
That is, we
No,
get that
we get that a
question
lot.
always.
They say
No.
only about 1% of people actually really get to see that. We have seen shadow figures, we've seen mists, all that kind of stuff. We've got EVP recordings. I've been pushed, touched, whatever. But no, I haven't, and I want to really bad. And I keep saying, well, I'm here in Gettysburg. One of these soldiers has to come visit
Yeah,
me. But
yeah.
this is the third time I've been here, and I haven't seen my soldier yet. But hopefully.
We've got Biker Dan and Harmony in the house. Now I know one of the biggest stories is there's like a field here where people say they see soldiers marching on the field on occasion.
They see them all over the battlefield.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Now, right to our left, I don't know what it is for them, but that way,
That
there
direction.
is Cemetery Hill. And there's actually a woman that's seen roaming around on
really?
the battlefield at night, theoretically looking for the body of her loved one who did not make it.
back.
They haven't heard from them, and they're looking because they used to go and roam those battlefields and dig up the remains to look and see, was this my relative or not. So she is known to be over there. She's either the lady or the belle of Baltimore,
Because that's Baltimore
because
Street.
right out front
okay.
is Baltimore Street. So she's known to be seen over there. Even has been seen by a photographer who had set up one night to, record, and he said he felt something like he was being watched or something. So he finally turned around and was face to face
Oh
with
my
her.
goodness.
That would be so
And he's a
awesome.
photographer. You know how mad he was he didn't get that on
Yeah.
film?
Yes, yeah.
Actually, last night we went live from over there and investigated, and we were getting some stuff that was just crazy. So that's actually the latest video on our channel. You can actually go check out last night. That's why we were out till 1 o'clock, because
Right.
we didn't want to leave. It's like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
stuff's going on.
And we went live, and so
Yeah,
we
we did it
had
live.
everybody was
Oh,
asking
wow.
questions. So then we would ask the question, and sometimes we would get a response.
Yeah,
So
so the
that was
K2
kinda
meter
cool.
was going off. We were getting stuff through the spirit box. And
Yeah.
Holy mackerel, that's
So
awesome. I gotta go
last night-
check this out.
Yeah,
That's
last
pretty
night
cool.
we got the ovolist said the name Rebecca. So I said, well, maybe maybe Rebecca is out there looking for her loved one.
Yeah.
We said, what kind of loved one was it? Was it your husband, your brother, your son? And it came across on the
Son.
spirit box that it was son.
Wow.
So that was kind of
So,
really cool.
This is the kind of stuff you're going to get on PanicDVideos channel, and the link will be in the description as soon as I organize my lazy butt to make sure it happens, because I actually set up this stream while I was driving here.
holy cow! Breaking the speed limit, setting up a stream.
So that will definitely be there. We have Highwayman in the house. I saw a couple of other folks come in.
You
I
may
probably
scroll
missed some folks. I apologize.
Sorry, we were rambling on.
Yeah.
We
But-
definitely want to just talk today, and so I'm not paying too much. Oh, I see Lazy Brook Farm in the house. Good morning. Look at that. I even said it right. I even said it right. If you don't know everyone in the room, please take a moment, get to know them. They are all just amazing content creators. And please do me a big favor and PanicDVideos as well, and leave that thumbs up. I would really appreciate it.
And share it out. We're at what, 31? Let's get them to 50.
Yeah,
Come
we've
on,
got
share us
32
out.
folks in the room.
Call
Amazing.
your friends, call your neighbors, pull your mother in, say hey.
That's what I think they did the other day to get me to 50 thumbs up. I'm pretty sure they're on the phone going, Mom, get on YouTube and just give this guy a thumbs up. And then I think Inspired John said, I called my mom. She said, what's YouTube?
Yeah.
Nice.
Buzzard33. Did I say that right, or
Oh,
is
yeah.
it Bozard?
Bozard. That's
Bozard.
Richard.
Richard Larson,
Yes, Richard.
he's from Ohio.
He is.
Well, hello, Richard.
Go Bucks.
And we've
Yeah,
got
nice to see
Highwayman
you.
as well. Awesome. Thank you for coming by.
So I see you have somebody in here called Biker Dan. Is he a biker?
I don't know. Biker
Biker
Dan
Dan,
is
are you really a
Biker
biker?
Dan is very new to this
Because-
channel, so
Because if so, and if you're nearby, this actually tomorrow starts Bike Week here in Gettysburg.
Well, he
So
could be a pedal biker too.
yeah.
well, he could be, but if he's a motorcycle
It's going to get
biker,
loud here.
It will get loud here in the next
It will
couple of
get loud.
days. But yeah, so if you're in the area and you are a real biker, because I don't know, I'm sorry, but you can maybe come out to go biking in Gettysburg.
I saw Dragon Roams is in the house, Heart of Comedy is in the house. This is unbelievable. We're up to 36 folks in this room. Hit that thumbs
awesome.
up, guys. You guys are amazing. So we are in Gettysburg. I am with PanicDVideos, Big Money Life in the house as well. And we're talking about their experiences here in Gettysburg over last night. And of course, we talked about their channel earlier on. This is really awesome. I cannot believe how much support you guys give me. It's just ridiculous.
Well, Biker Dan won't be joining us. He's in Wales.
Oh.
But he is a real biker, he says. So.
He is a real biker.
That's kind of a long haul.
Yeah.
Although
Yeah.
if you drive like Michael, you might be able to make our live stream.
Will's World Media in the maybe. Will's World Media is in the house, and also only Claire is from Wales as well. So if she's in the house, she might. I know it's stupid to say she might know Biker Dan because they're from the same town, but you just never know.
You never know. Some towns are kind of small, some towns are bigger. I know Wales is a bigger one, but you know, like where we work at, everybody does know everybody.
Everyone knows each other.
Yeah, or they're related.
We've got Falco's beer review. Hello, hello, hello. Oh man, this is incredible. So when my Dutch, okay, I got that one. So what gives you guys, what do you have to decide that you're going to go and do an investigation on a place? How does that come about?
Well, okay, so let me answer that with
Two parts, maybe.
2 parts, okay? So first of all, for a location to end up in the database, it has to have at least one reported paranormal claim, not by us. So if, you know, somebody was there and we find a ghost story, or if another paranormal group
has gone and
tells us about it,
investigated.
I literally have a notebook of about 60 places I need to add since we started YouTube in November, of people telling me locations across the country, which is awesome, okay? But it's just time to get to it.
Yeah.
So in order for that location to be in the database, somebody else besides us has to report that claim, okay? And then it'd be nice that if we could get like a picture of it head on, that goes into the database, and then we start digging into the research. We start trying to piece together, you know, if there's something going on, to see if you know, did something bad happen there.
Yeah, is there a reason for the haunting or the activity?
And it's not always bad stuff. It could be good stuff. You know, it's the high extremes of either bad or positive energy, like theaters, you know. Very high energy because that's where people go and have fun, or you know, even I was going to say hotels, but you know, so different areas there. It might not just be a death or something tragic. It could be the opposite end of the spectrum. So we try to piece all that together, and then if it really gets intriguing, we try to figure out a way to get there. But we kind of luck out. We get 2 times during the year where we can actually travel. Now, because we're both off in July, which is great, and we try to find some place to go. If it's like we don't know of anything in the area where we're going for a certain, we look for it. Like we went to Puerto Rico in 2016 on a cruise. There were some forts and stuff there, which, you know, we knew there had to be something, so we did a little research before we got there and found other places too. And then in November, October, November, some time frame, Marianne has the privilege of being able to go to the National Biology Teachers Convention.
And
it's
it's in
all
a
over the
different
country.
city all over the
So that's how in November we're going to San Diego. That's where it was. We've been to Atlanta. We've been to Denver. Well, while we were in Denver, Estes Park, where Stanley Hotel's only a 2-hour drive. We rented a car and drove up there. You know, so that's how we get to travel around in the fall.
That's
then
pretty
our,
cool.
You know, our vacation in the summer.
It's usually my conference is over by 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and if there's ghost hunting, it's usually in the evenings because if there's less contamination, things like that. So we can usually head out and do that. And then whenever we go to these towns, anywhere we go on vacation or to the conference, we'll always look and see if there is a ghost tour in town.
Yes.
And that gives you like that starting point where you hear a story and then you go and do some research and see if you can pin things together.
All right, so it makes sense. You got the ghost tours. They're going to tell you about a couple of different locations that they've heard things at. Then you can
Right.
go talk to somebody else, see if there's anything actually to it.
Yeah,
Right.
a lot of times we like to go and talk to the workers at the places, say, hey, you know, we heard this, have you seen anything? And they love to just, because then it's somebody who's believing what they're saying, and they'll just go off, you know, we just whip out the recorder, hey, go ahead, tell us your stories. So it's actually really interesting, and you know, we love doing it. Oop,
That's work.
that's work. Sorry,
That's work
give me
calling
1
him,
second.
so he's
Sure,
going to run
sure.
off there.
We're going to say hi to folks here. We've
yeah.
got 210 Brewing in the house. I saw Insane Bolt is in the house. I know of Dragon Roams. Hello, hello, hello. Harmony, so many folks. Heart of Comedy. I think I got just about everybody in the room. If I missed you, I apologize. We are kind of focusing. Also, for those of you who do not know, the bracket 2 for the B-Roll SmackDown came out this morning. Hopefully it looks good to you guys. Please don't hesitate to go ahead and vote for the awesome competitors in the B-Roll SmackDown. They did an amazing job this time around. It's absolutely fantastic. I'm absolutely blessed to be here with Marianne and Sean today from PanicDVideos, and this is awesome. We are in Gettysburg. We're gonna get some interesting film today. I don't know if I'll do a vlog on this, because if I'm being perfectly honest with you guys, I'm about 5 edit backlog right now on vlogs. So I just wanted to come down here and go live with them. Oh, thank you, Lazy Brook Farm. That's awesome. I'm about 5 video backlogged, but I wanted to come down and go live with Sean and Marianne because I just think it's awesome. And here we go. We're coming back.
Sorry.
Oh, it's all good.
I'm on vacation, but being in charge of technology, I still get calls.
Yeah, if something breaks.
I've been in IT for 17 years before I started doing YouTube full time. I know how that works.
Yeah.
And people don't get it. They're like, well, you're on vacation. I'm like, are you really ever on vacation? They can call you 24 hours. Monica still gets calls when we're on vacation. She works for the same company I did. They always try to tell you that vacations are sacred, but they just mean
we know you're off the clock, but
yep, that's how it works.
It's okay.
So does anybody have any questions for PanicDVideo? I would love to field those puppies today. Also, if you have any questions about Gettysburg in general, they've been here many times. I've been here a bunch of times. I'm sure we have at least some way to answer. You know, the other place that I love is the place where they talk about Pickett's charge, when you get to see both sides of Pickett's charge, and I think it's one of the more powerful and interesting moments because you see the futility of the effort when you actually get behind the wall and you see where he was charging. You're like, I don't even know how he ever got that close.
Yeah. Yeah. I think they call that area the high water mark. And first time we were down there, I'm like, high water mark? There's not even any water around here. What's that mean? Well, that's the highest point that the Confederacy got. Yeah. They call it the high water mark. So it was that area.
If you don't know, so Pickett's charge was kind of like the last charge of the Confederacy, and it may not have been the actual last charge, but it pretty much signaled the fact that they were going to have to retreat.
Yeah.
And later,
last ditch effort.
Yeah, later they did say that it was probably a mistake to make the effort. But when you go there and you stand behind the wall that the Union was on, and you look across this field that these brave men charged across, and they actually did eventually reach the wall and have some hand-to-hand combat before it all petered out. And you're thinking, I don't know how any of them made it. It's like uphill. There's a stone wall right there. It seems like an impossible task. I don't know how brave you have to be to do this. It's just insanity.
And most of them volunteered to do it in the first place. They're like, yes, I want to go and fight in this war.
Imagine having so much faith and love for your leader that you're willing to basically charge across a field in a completely futile attempt to win a battle. That's frightening almost.
And it's not like today where it's like, oh, we're gonna drop a bomb from like here, They literally stood eye to eye, stabbing each other, or it just.
I'm sure you guys have seen the one monument that they have where they're kind of twisted in hand-to-hand combat. Yeah. And the guy's striking the other guy with the butt of his rifle or something. And that's kind of interesting because it's not something you generally see. You don't actually, when you come here, it's all monuments and memorials, so you don't necessarily get reminded of the battle that happened, only the people that died. And when you really think about what happened here, it gets pretty heavy. I think my wife and I did 3 days, and we were just emotionally exhausted by the end of the 3 days.
Yeah, it does have a little drain on you when you're here.
You guys take it from a totally different angle, which probably helps. Oh, man.
Well, just the conditions, too. Just the condids that they were in.
It looks like we've got a question here that I must have done. All right, go ahead and rock it.
So one was, have we ever in Waverly Hills? Not yet.
No, we get that question all the time too. We got to go because people keep asking.
What is Waverly Hills?
It was a tuberculosis asylum, and it's not too far. It's actually, I think,
from our real house.
That's the one in Kentucky.
And
It's not that far from us.
so we haven't been there.
See, here's
It's
our
on the
problem.
list.
There's been a couple places that we've been to several times that's close to us, but we're kind of like, you know, we've been all the way out to Anaheim, California, all the way down to Puerto Rico and Grand Turk and all that, and we're kind of working our way in.
Working
So
our way back.
Waverly Hills is like 4 or 5 hours from us. We haven't been there yet.
Right. There was another question about, oh, I forget what they were. Now there were 2 other questions I saw. Hold on, I'll find it.
But
Well, one of them was, what's some paranormal hotspots in Gettysburg?
Everywhere.
Everywhere.
The
Yeah.
whole town. And here's something you got to think about too. Those who've been to Gettysburg or haven't been to Gettysburg, there's the national park, which is the battlefield, which what Michael was talking about with Little Round Top and Devil's Den and all that. But the fighting took place all over, even in town. So even through the streets of the town was battlefield. So, and all these houses and everything that were here at the time became field hospitals. There were, you know, not to get real gross on Mike's channel, but there were bodies and animal carcasses and everywhere. And even after the battle was over, there were people going out and picking up. They sent out a flyer. The federal government said that they would pay a bounty for munitions and weapons and artillery and stuff like that. So there was people going out and collecting them, and there was like fatalities from that because they would pick up mortars and shells and stuff, and they would
explode.
So the whole situation around here was just horrible. It was just horrible. So it everywhere is a hotbed.
It may not have been like what you see in the movies, where you see the people sitting up on the hill having a picnic, watching the battle.
No. So
Most
even
of
the
the people
generals
around
got into
here,
it, so.
they went and hid in their basements. They didn't go out and watch. They did go and hide in the basements because it was literally in their town.
Yeah.
They were fighting in the streets in front of their homes. So it wasn't a picnic for them by any means. And it was like 90 some degrees. It was very humid. It rained on the last day and through like I think 3 days after that. It was miserable time. So they were not doing that for the most part. Have you had any really crazy experiences that were unexpected? Unexpected.
I'm sure there was.
When you guys do what you do, you kind of
Sometimes-
expect the unexpected,
Yeah,
I would
we
guess.
kind of
Right.
go prepared and
Yes.
prepare ourselves.
Sometimes we'll have a recorder running and we're not paying any attention.
I got one. Go ahead.
And we'll find out later that there was somebody that was actually talking to us. I'm gonna flick that off. Of you.
I got
You
one
a
here,
spider
actually.
crawling on your neck.
I got one here from Gettysburg,
Yes.
actually, that's unexpected. So we've kind of learned that, like, even when we go on the day tours or we're just walking around, whatever, I always have my, I don't know what pocket it's in, but I always have my recorder with me. Mary Ann has one too.
Yeah.
So we have these little digital recorders. That's SB7. I don't know. I got it somewhere. But we have these little digital recorders going. So when we were here in 2015, we were over at the National Cemetery. It was probably about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Heat, sun out just like this. And we're just walking around talking. I was with my buddy Mike. They were with us. And we were at Nixon's
great-grandfather's grave.
great-grandfather's gravesite. And we were having a conversation. Of course, the recorder was going. And then afterwards we play it back, and over top of our conversation, we weren't talking anything about the battle. We were saying, well, I wonder if he knows how his great-grandson's presidency turns out or something like that. And right over top, clear as day on that recording, you hear, because we're still fighting. And that was unexpected. So
Wow.
those kind of things.
Yeah, and so that was his great-grandfather, and he died here in the Battle of Gettysburg, and he is buried in the Soldiers National Cemetery here that Abraham Lincoln came and gave the Gettysburg Address for the consecration of.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Right over there was Gettysburg.
Not too far.
Right.
I saw we have some new folks.
Oh, okay. I have it for questions.
Okay.
But that's okay. No, I'm sorry. Did you ever have you ever helped someone cross over that you know of? And
Not
then I'll
that
let you go to the end and see your peeps.
We have help with crossings,
We have been in the room when it has happened. We have we've been around, but specifically when we go to haunted locations, we don't like to cross them because most of the time those are going to be tourist attractions for people and they want the ghosts to be there, unless there's something that's really, you know, hurtful or
we
something
always
like
ask
that.
too, is there something we could do to help? Is
We
there a
do
message
ask
you want
that.
to give or something? And if we do hear something like that, like I need your help or please help me or something like that, we will follow up with that, especially like I was saying earlier, trying to find a local paranormal group, because something like that would take some extra time. They have to go and do the additional investigations, and then somebody who is skilled and educated into doing a proper crossing. So
right, and it's not usually a one-day thing. That's usually longer.
yeah,
We're
that
usually
takes several investigations.
traveling too long for that, but
we
do
go to mostly
generally
publicly historical locations.
ask. Right.
We've got T. Throng in the house. Donna Shaw is in the house. Big Money Life is in the house. Amazing, amazing.
Tracy, how
Hi
you doing?
everybody.
Hit those thumbs up, guys, if you have not
Where are we at?
already. We are at 39
39.
thumbs up, 26 folks
need
in
11
the
more.
room. Is Abraham Lincoln the 16th president?
Yes, he was.
He was.
Yes, he was.
He absolutely was. He gave the Gettysburg Address somewhere in this general vicinity over that way.
That's right, right over in actually Evergreen Cemetery, because it was right next door to the National Cemetery that's there now. So when he came, the actual platform he stood on was actually in Evergreen Cemetery.
Really?
Yes.
You're gonna have to show me today, I think.
We can do that.
Do we have any other questions? I might have missed something.
Yeah, we might have missed some of
We
them.
might have missed a question, so ask it again, ladies and gentlemen. 27 folks in the room. We have about 15 minutes left. If you guys have not voted yet in the B-Roll Smackdown, please do me a favor. Check out the 4 brackets for the B-Roll Smackdown and vote for your favorite in those categories. These folks went all out. It's just amazing. Please ask them if they have ever been in a former war zone or a place in Krakow's concentration camp. Thanks.
We have not been at Krakow's. Besides Gettysburg, we've been in St. Augustine, and there were battles there.
Fredericksburg,
Antietam. We've been to a lot of Civil War locations.
You guys been down to Williamsburg and that sort of stuff?
We haven't been to Williamsburg, but we're thinking about going there this year. It's
Yeah,
pretty
I
cool.
went as a
We haven't
child,
been there.
but we have not been together, and I did not do any paranormal investigation as a child.
No, but it's pretty neat. It's a pretty neat place.
Yes.
It's a pretty neat place. I have a question here. Stoke Explorer asks how he votes. Okay, so in the B-Roll Smackdown, you watch the bracket video. You tap the screen. In the top right-hand corner of the screen, you'll see a little circle with the letter I. You tap that letter I, it will bring a drop-down down that says the names of the competitors in that bracket. You just pick the one you want. You'll have one of those polls in every one of the 4 brackets. So please do take the time to vote for your favorites in each bracket. That would be just awesome. That would be, I mean, those videos are getting so many views, guys. But I would really like to see the percentage of people that vote higher, or at least somewhat equal to the number of people that are watching the video. So I apologize if I didn't explain it as well as I could have, but I'm doing the best I can, guys. I'm not very smart. I just, you know, I'm just figuring this all out as we go along, my friends. And also, if you have not hit that thumbs up, we are very close to my thumbs up record. I would say we are about 3 or 4 away.
PanicDVideos in the house. Let's break it.
Yeah, Panic D's in the house. We got to break a thumbs up record for them. That would be amazing.
Yes.
So we got something for you.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
Got to make it official.
That's right.
Oh wow, check that out. That's awesome.
So,
It's black. So
it's
we
black, so
we
don't wear it in
put it on now.
Gettysburg because it's too hot.
Oh yeah. Look at that. Oh, that's awesome. Here's the thing, I probably won't wear this a lot in the summer because you guys have seen the show. I'm
Yeah.
outside a lot.
We
But
don't
in
ride
the
too
summer
much
show.
in the
Yeah.
summer.
But in the winter, this is gonna be all
See,
over me.
We don't have
See,
our
we
black
have
ones
blue
on.
ones on today. We had gray ones yesterday. You know.
Thank you so much. That's
welcome.
amazing. That is
Thanks
so
for
cool.
coming out to meet with us and having us on the show.
Oh my goodness, that's awesome. See, they're good people. Not that you didn't already know that. This is
Oh,
amazing.
goodness.
Oh my goodness, I
So
was not expecting.
PSPR was asking what our favorite channel is besides PanicDVideos.
Ah. They
He's
probably want you to say
trying.
PSRP.
He's trying to, you know, get us
We
to
gotta
get
give
in
a shout out
trouble.
to him. He just broke. He just broke 500. So he's my running buddy on here too.
Yes.
So check him out. He's been on some investigations with us. It's been pretty cool. So.
But there's somebody else who asked what your favorite ghost hunting app was.
Oh.
And
don't use
we
apps.
don't use apps.
We use devices. Here I have my.
Oh, I did not.
We use different devices then we record them. So like here's my spirit box.
Last night,
Okay,
PanicDVideos heard water. Maybe General Williams Barksdale, his private, tried to give him water and he was shot by a bullet. Do you guys know what he's talking about?
I'm not sure that Barksdale was on Cemetery Hill. I'll have to look and see where he was, but yeah, we did last night. One of the terms that came out of the SB7, I think it was water. And so I said, oh, do you need water? You know, because I thought maybe it was a soldier who needed water on the battlefield. So it's possible, but I'm not sure where he went down. If you know, Tracy, go ahead and pop that in there, and we'll see if we can try that out.
So we have folks who might not be as familiar with paranormal investigations on this thing. So maybe you could tell us how you use the devices that you have and what they do. That would be awesome.
So this is just a regular digital recorder. I mean, you can pick this up at Walmart. Of course, we get everything off of Amazon. But this is just a regular digital recorder. And the theory behind a digital recorder is that the spirits can use the white noise. You know how you hear when you play back, you always hear a white noise? You're an IT. You know.
Oh, yeah.
In that white noise, you would hear something that sounds, it sounds like somebody talking while they're inhaling. You know, that is called a EVP, electronic voice phenomenon. Okay, now the theory behind that dates all the way back to Thomas Edison, who discovered that.
Didn't he originally feel like he was creating what he was creating in order to communicate with the dead, or there was something to that?
There's a
There's
little bit of,
on that,
yeah, some say he was, some say he wasn't. It wasn't actually officially documented that he was. And this guy documented everything. He had so many patents and all that other stuff. I think what it was from just researching it just a little bit, because we were actually going to do a video on that.
Yeah, because he had over 200 notebooks that he had written of all different
He
things.
would have wrote something.
He would have been a little bit more specific, but I think he ran into it and didn't understand what it was, is what this was. And then there's some say that he was creating a device to pick up on that a little bit more. I don't know. That's a little bit. Some historians say yes, some say no. So I don't know. But it definitely, we get most of our evidence on this.
Wow.
Now this is a spirit box, and basically what it is, it's a modified radio. Okay, and what it does is.
Well, this is going to get loud if you turn that on. So I'm just.
Well, no, I don't have a speaker.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, just warning your folks.
So basically, you set this to sweep. And you see, without the speaker, you can't even hear it. But see how it's sweeping through the radio stations?
Okay.
Now, if that's sweeping and you hear a phrase, or you hear some sort of response, you see how fast it's going through the radio station.
Right.
They can use that white noise to communicate, and we can hear it.
Oh.
But then we also record
But it doesn't.
too.
Okay, so you have to record
Yeah, it
on
doesn't
that.
record it. Yes.
So
So that's actually what we heard
that's
water
called a
on
spirit
last night.
box. Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
I think
that's
I saw
called an SB7.
Pam. I think I saw only Claire Jones using one of those.
So we have a SB7, then we have another one called SB11, a dual channel. You can run them forward, backwards, all kinds of stuff.
Different speeds.
Yeah, Mary Ann hates this.
I absolutely hate it. I hate the sound
Yeah.
of white noise.
It does give you a
I
headache
gotta
after
be
a while,
honest with
so.
you. When I've watched videos where people are using it, I don't last very long.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
gets kind
So
of.
I know you guys are amazing at editing it, so
Yeah.
I'm not
I
even
can't.
worried about that.
I
But
can't stand it.
I've
I
seen
hate
folks with 20 minutes of just the thing going.
Yeah,
it's like I can't.
It gives
I
you a
can't.
headache after
Yeah.
a while. Now we have another device. It's called an Ovilus, and basically it uses EMF, and it'll use a dictionary and it'll say words. So in our video last night, that thing was talking like crazy. That's where we got Rebecca off
Yes,
of
off the obelisk. Yeah.
you know, in different words, we got like buried, you know, just different things that,
Beware, buried.
yeah.
Last night
So
we got
that
those
thing's
over there.
interesting too, and it doesn't make, it just talks.
It just
So
spits
I would
out words
guess,
every now and again.
I would guess that when you guys go out and you start to, and something actually attempts to communicate with you, this has to be,
It's exciting.
It
it
is.
must be one of those
Adrenaline
things
rush.
where you're never going to sleep
Yeah.
that night
Yeah.
because
It is. It
Yeah.
gets to you, and then before you know it, it's like 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning. It's like, oh. And the funny thing is like we'll go to a location. PSPR's in here; he'll understand. We'll go to a location that has all these paranormal claims, and everybody's there investigating, and blah blah blah. And you go to different areas, and you would think it would just be off the hook, and nothing. And then all of a sudden, boom! It just starts, and then
And then
it
it
goes
just
as
dies
quick
out
as it
just as quick
started,
as it
you
started.
know. And then that's it. That's ghost hunting. That's it. That's all.
wow, that sounds
It's
so
that quick.
strange because
So-
you would think that they come by to communicate with you, which of course could take however long it takes.
Yeah.
Once they were there, they would just keep going until you got tired, but it doesn't work that way.
Well, no, see, these spirits, and this is all theory, okay, but the spirits, it takes a lot of energy for them to communicate. So if that energy, if they waste that energy out, they just don't have the
Right.
strength
Yeah, okay.
to stay there.
That makes sense. It
Yeah.
makes sense.
So like the 1% of people actually seeing full body apparitions, that would take a lot of energy for a full body
I
apparition.
had never thought about it like that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's why
Now, when,
most
you know,
of the
people
evidence is
feel
audio
cold
recording.
spots and see balls of light and all that stuff, that's that change of that energy of it building up, that
Right.
cold spots draining off of something. People's batteries drain and stuff. Running water, it'll pull from there and stuff.
That is the one thing I always found interesting about the phenomenon is how it affects electronic devices.
Yeah.
Do you guys get that a lot, or you know, is that
We
just
get a lot of
really
battery
rare-
drains.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't use, there's a lot of people who tend to say, oh, my electronic devices wouldn't work in this area. I generally don't have that. We'll lose a lot of battery power, but I haven't had it where, oh, it just wouldn't work. Because a lot of times they'll be like, my camera wouldn't take pictures in this room. I walked out and it was fine, you know.
But
I
you
don't-
have had them.
But I have had that happen like once or twice.
You've had that happen at Noah Webster's
Noah
house.
Webster's house. I did
We're
have
walking
that happen.
around Greenwich Village up there.
Greenville.
Greenville.
He always calls
Say
it
it wrong.
Greenwich.
Henry Ford Museum. And we're walking around all the buildings and everything, and she walks into Noah Webster's house, the guy that wrote the Webster Dictionary. As soon as she walked in, the camera just boom.
Yeah, and then I went out and I took a couple pictures down the street, you know. But for those of you who don't know, he collected houses.
Oh.
Henry Ford.
Henry Ford, he has a whole village of different houses that he collected from around.
Yeah, houses, actual houses.
So
What he would do, he would go, he would say, this is a historical place, this is a great building, I want this building, don't tear it down or whatever. And he would take it, have it disassembled piece by piece. He would bring it back to the Henry Ford Museum, and he put it up in Greenfield Village, which is it's right next door. And he would even
You
take
have to
the
go there
plaster.
sometime. That's awesome.
Yeah, he would even take the plaster from the walls, reconstitute it, grind it down, and use the same plaster again to put the building back
I gotta
up.
see this.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
sounds
The
unbelievable.
So he-
bicycle
there's just, like,
shop for the Wright
everything.
brothers is there. Their house is there. The Menlo Park, Thomas Edison's Menlo Park laboratory is there.
Yep.
I mean, there's all kinds of.
Yeah.
And can you
different-
go through any of these
Oh,
houses?
you
all
go
of
through
them.
all of them.
You just
Oh
walk
my
around
goodness! So
Yeah.
Yeah.
he just collected
houses.
He collected
historical
historical
houses.
places.
That is the coolest thing
Yeah.
I've ever heard.
How'd
Yeah.
you like to have that kind of money?
Can you imagine? Well, can you even imagine how much that would cost now?
Well, back then, didn't have to move them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Menlo Park was in New Jersey. He moved it all the way to Michigan.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm thinking nowadays at least they might just kind of yank them up out of the ground, set them on a
Yeah.
flatbed.
Yeah, he
but it sounds like he
dismantled
was
them.
disassembling
Yeah,
them
he
and
did.
putting.
Yeah.
Oh my
He
God!
actually had a team of
That's
archaeologists.
insanity.
They would mark, you
archaeologists.
know, what went where,
Label.
what board went where, so that they could put it back together the way it was.
Well, some philanthropists go out there and just donate bundles of money to causes, but I think doing something like that actually preserves history for the rest of us to go and see. And I
Absolutely.
think it's just as inspiring personally because history is, I love it. I love it. That's why I love to come to a place like this. So many of these buildings were there during the Civil War. and that's pretty cool. But to have somebody pick up historic buildings and move them somewhere else so that they're preserved for us to see is pretty freaking awesome, guys.
Yeah.
I gotta see this, and this is in
Michigan.
Ann Arbor, Michigan.
It's just outside of Ann Arbor, yeah.
oh my goodness.
It's the Henry Ford Museum, and you can go into the museum and see, you know, presidential cars. The Kennedy car is there, the Reagan car is there. He's got the chair that Lincoln was assassinated in. He's got all this stuff in there.
Wow.
And then
Rosa
connected
Parks
to it, next to it, he has, yes. Yeah, so connected to it on the other side, he has Greenfield Village, which has all the homes that he's collected.
You definitely
That's
have
crazy.
to.
You have to make it up there.
You know, when you think about, he somehow managed to locate Rosa Parks' bus. Now let's really think about that, guys, because how did they know, honestly, right away, that that was going to mean something?
Well, actually,
Things like this happen over a period of time.
it
And
was all
found it in a
rusted
field.
out in the field,
It was
and
rusted
and
out
they,
in the
but
field.
the museum has brought it in there and they've restored it.
That's
But
amazing.
yeah, but just tracking down the provenance
Yeah.
of these
To
things
try to
too.
find it.
Yeah.
That's unbelievable. Well, we are at the 60-minute mark, guys. Go ahead and say your goodbyes. And
Yeah, thanks for having us. Thanks for watching, and nice to meet some of you.
awesome, guys. PanicDVideos. The link will be in the description. We will be live on their channel within a couple hours at some point.
Yeah,
we're gonna
take a
go.
little break and walk around a little bit, and then we'll do our thing. So come on over.
Absolutely. So do me a big favor, guys. Thank you so much for stopping by the way. I love you so much. I want you guys to go out there, make your day meaningful, find your adventure, have a great day, and I'll see you in not too long on PanicDVideos channel. Thank you so much.